Hello everyone, this is a recording for your lesson in phonetics entitled Stress in Suffix Words. By suffix words we mean complex words. In English we have three types of suffixes. They are stress-carrying suffixes, neutral or weak suffixes, and finally stress-shifting suffixes. We start with the first type, stress-carrying suffixes. These are suffixes which attract the primary stress, represented by number 2, onto themselves, i.e. the primary stress falls on the suffix itself. I said falls on the suffix itself, so the stress is no longer on the root. Notice that in the following sets of words there is also a secondary stress, represented by number 1, on the first syllable in each case, i.e. the stress pattern of these three-syllable words is 1, 0, 2. So we practice together. Number 1, the stress-carrying suffix ein, like entertain, entertain. 2, the stress-carrying suffix e, like refugee, refugee. The suffix ear, like mountaineer, mountaineer. 4, the suffix is, like Portuguese, Portuguese. Number 5, the suffix et, like cigarette, cigarette. Number 6, the suffix esque, like picturesque, picturesque. Number 7, the suffix un, like balloon, balloon. Here the stress pattern is 0, 2 because the word has 2 syllables. And finally, the suffix u, like kangaroo and shampoo. Great. So, as I said, stress-carrying suffixes, those suffixes, when they are in words, they carry the stress, they attract the stress onto themselves, and the stress is no longer on the root or in the root. So, we're gonna have another practice. When you hear the stem word or the root, say the word with the given suffix. Put in the primary stress on the suffix and a secondary stress on the first syllable, and you will have the stress pattern 1, 0, 2. We practice together. So, number 1, employ plus the suffix e, it becomes employee. Number 2, engine plus the suffix ear, it becomes engineer. Number 3, Sudan plus the suffix is, it becomes Sudanese. 4, usher plus the suffix et, it becomes usherette. 5, absent plus the suffix e, it becomes absentee. 6, profit plus the suffix ear, it becomes profiteer. 7, Pekin plus the suffix is, it becomes Pekingese. And finally, statue plus the suffix et, it becomes statuette. So, we have finished with the stress-carrying suffixes. As I said previously, those suffixes, when they enter to the root, they attract the stress onto themselves. So the stress is on this suffix. It means on the alt. We move to the second type of suffixes entitled neutral or weak suffixes. As the name indicates, so they are not strong as the previous type, but they are weak. So, neutral suffixes have no effect on stress placement and never produce a stress shift. I mean, the syllable which is stressed in the stem remains stressed in the same place in the derived forms. I mean, in the word with this weak suffix, whether we add one or more neutral suffixes to the base. Whatever the number of neutral suffixes in this word, the stress is always as it was in the stem. We don't change it. So, when you hear the stem word, add the neutral suffix without changing the place of the primary stress. Notice that neutral suffixes usually contain the weak vowels, the schwa or short e. We practice together. 1. Comfort plus able, it becomes comfortable. So we have not changed the stress. It was on come, it stays on come. So comfort, comfortable. As if the stress was not, the suffix was not added. That's why it's called weak. It has no effect on the stress placement. Number 2, anchor plus it, anchorage. 3, refuse plus all, refusal. 4, wide plus un, widen. 5, wonder plus full, wonderful. Amaze plus ing, amazing. Devil plus ish, devilish. Bird plus like, bird-like. Art plus ist, artist. Romantic plus ism, romanticism. Power plus less, powerless. Harried plus ly, harriedly. Punish plus ment, punishment. Yellow plus ness, yellowness. Poison plus us, poisonous. Other plus wise, otherwise. Fun plus y, funny. Actor plus us, actress. South plus wood, southward. Brother plus hood, brotherhood. King plus dom, kingdom. Side plus ways, sideways. Trouble plus some, troublesome. Book plus lit, booklet. Clock plus wise, clockwise. Friend plus ship, friendship. Act plus or, actor. So, in this type, which is entitled neutral or weak suffixes, we have noticed that there is no effect of those suffixes on the stress placement. So we keep it as it was in the root. That's why they are called weak and or neutral, okay? We move to the third type of suffixes entitled the stress shifting suffixes. These suffixes cause the primary stress in the stem word to shift from one syllable to another. In the stem, to shift from one syllable to another in the stem. In the following suffix words, stress 2 or the primary stress occurs on the syllable just before the suffix. So the stress occurs on the syllable just before the suffix, that shifting suffix, i.e., on the last syllable of the stem, not of the word, on the last syllable of the stem. We practice together, but before we practice, I want you to notice two things. You notice how the stress has moved or has shifted from one syllable to another in the stem, and the second thing, there you will notice a change in the vowel quality, a change in vowel quality. It means from a schwa, it will be another strong vowel, or from a strong vowel to a weak vowel because of the stress shifting. So, notice two things. Stress placement has changed, the shift in the stress, and the change in the vowel quality. The vowels are not the same in some syllables because we have shifted the stress. So we practice together. Number 1, advantage, advantage plus is, it becomes advantageous, advantageous. So, what do we notice here? Not only a shift in the stress from van to te, but also a change in the vowel quality. For example, in the word advantage, we used to have a schwa at the beginning of the word, but when we have added the stress shifting suffix, we have noticed, and the stress has moved, we noticed that at the beginning of the word we have ad instead of ud. As well, from tej to tages. Okay, so we notice two things. Second word, photo. Photo plus graphy, it becomes photography. Photo, photography. 3. Proverb. Proverb plus eel, it becomes proverbial, proverbial. 4. Climate, climate plus ik becomes climatic, climatic. 5. Injure, injure plus is, it becomes injurious, injurious. 6. Tranquil, tranquil plus ity, it becomes tranquility, tranquility. 7. Reflex, reflex plus if, it becomes reflexive, reflexive. 8. Embryo, embryo plus logy, it becomes embryology, embryology. 9. Habit, habit plus ual, it becomes habitual, habitual. 10. Larynx, larynx plus eal, it becomes laryngeal, laryngeal. And finally, compose, compose plus ion, it becomes composition, composition. So we have finished with the stress shifting suffixes. So as I said, in stress shifting suffixes, those suffixes, they cause the stress to shift from one syllable to another, but still in the root. Not only shifting of the stress, but also a change in the vowel quality because of that shifting. Thank you. See you in the next lesson.